I've read 6 books across March and April, and these are all my spoiler-free thoughts. It's been a while. So March was the month I discovered the Boys of Tommen series. It completely consumed the month. This is all I read. So we started with Binding 13. We went straight on to Keeping 13. And then we also read Saving 6. I'm going to speak about all of these 3 just as a whole because my feelings about all of them are very, very similar. I kind of surprised myself about how much I enjoyed this series. I think going into it, reading the blurb, I wasn't sure. Set in a school in Ireland. I didn't know if it was a bit young for me. Like, I just wasn't sure if I was going to connect, but we definitely connected. I just got so invested, like I could not put them down. These are incredibly character driven. And although like all these characters are 16, 17, it's set in like the early 2000s. So there's something so nostalgic about it. And I don't know how Chloe writes it, but for some reason, I didn't feel like I was a decade older than these people when reading. Honestly, I loved every single one. Rites of Starling. I feel like we need a round of applause for this. So this was our April read in book club, and I was so happy that this won because we read book 1, Shield of Sparrows, together as a club a few months ago. Daphne really stepped up. I am someone who thoroughly enjoyed Shield of Sparrows. I read it pretty quickly. I found it pretty gripping. The only thing I didn't like about Shield of Sparrows was that I felt it was very predictable. However, that cannot be said about Rites of Starling. My theories were changing with every single chapter. I could not really keep up sometimes with what was going on. I think fantasy wise as well, we also stepped up. Everything just felt like we were taking it up a notch. And I think this was an amazing second book. I will say there was quite a lot of moments where I was really confused. We basically spend half of this book in a brand new character's POV. We don't really know who she is. We don't really know where she's come from. That was really confusing me for my whole read because I just felt like I couldn't really find my feet with who was who and what was going on. But after finishing the book, I realized that that was the whole point. I thought the ending was genius. If you enjoyed Shield of Sparrows, you will also definitely enjoy this. And I am locked in for the rest of this series. Next up, we have The Crimson Moth, aka one of my new favorite books. I just thought this was great. I just loved the whole concept of this book. We have a witch, we have a witch hunter. Honestly, like if you get this, you get this, but it kind of reminded me of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. And if you can understand that connection, you can understand that connection. If you can't, I appreciate that. I just loved that they were both using each other for kind of like the opposite reason. I don't know. I loved the plot. I don't know why I haven't read this sooner. I also love the length. Like, you know, we don't always have to be reading like 800-page books. A 400-page is gorgeous. If you haven't read this, I would highly, highly recommend. My final read for April was a Kindle read, a very short and sweet read. We've got the Mindfuck series. This one is called The Risk. I was recommended this by a couple people. I've heard really good things about this series. I don't think this was bad, but I just don't think this is for me. And I don't think I'm going to be continuing. It's very short. I think I read this in like 2 nights worth of reading. It's like not even 200 pages. It's super quick. I just don't think I like this genre. It's like a serial killer, then starts dating the police officer who's like investigating all these killings, and I don't know. It just didn't really do much for me. So that was everything we have read the past 2 months. Let me know if you have read any of these and your thoughts. Let's see what we read next.